Hello, I'm going to show you UFC's AP Energize solution for QuickBooks Online. Now this is going to fully automate your accounts payable intake process and drastically reduce data entry. Now there are 4 different ways to provide documents to the software: emails, scans, faxes, or hot folders, which are also known as watch folders. For this demo, we are going to use hot folders. So all I'm going to do is drag and drop some invoices in, and the software will pick it up and process them, and eventually we'll export those to QuickBooks Online. Let me just show you these invoices before we do that. They're just normal invoices. A couple different things I want you to notice about the invoices as I show them to you is that there is no similar design or no similar process into creating them. So, all invoices look different. Obviously, the vendors have full control over how their invoices look. Some of them have color, some of them are no color. Some of them have black headers behind some of the data, and some of them do not. So all I'm going to simply do is drag these into our hot folder, and you're going to see that the software will pick them up. There they go, and it's going to process them. Now what it's doing in the background is it's comparing these invoices against your vendors in QuickBooks Online, and it's going to look for information to help us process these invoices. Now what I'm going to do from here is open our verification station. And you'll see that and we now have a task ready. I'm going to hit Get Task, and you see that we have those 3 invoices that are ready to be reviewed. We're going to look through these. Now, a couple of different things I need you to notice here is that we know the invoice type. Now, there are 2 different options. One is an invoice, and of course, we have credit notes as well, or credit memos. But for this one, it's an invoice. We also know the internal business unit, of course, the vendor, the invoice data, including invoice number, invoice dates, and totals. And so importantly, we're able to find line item details. Now this is right out of the box processing. So no information, no changes have been made to the software to process these besides just hooking it up to QuickBooks and letting it synchronize there. So it's able to determine vendor and line item information just right out of the box. Moving on to the next one, it's very similar. It's an invoice. We know the internal business unit. We know the vendor and invoice data, amounts, and of course line item details. And we'll look over at the last one, and it's very similar as well. We have the business unit, the vendor, invoice number, which is, by the way, in black, which is often hard for a lot of other OCR softwares to process. Same with the invoice date. It's in this black background, but the software was able to pick that up just fine. And we have our total down here at the bottom, and so importantly, our line item detail. Once I'm done, I'm going to simply close task. Now when I close task, what's going to happen in the background is the software is going to export these to QuickBooks Online. So if we refresh our screen in QuickBooks, we're going to see a couple of our bills are already in process. Now the software is in process right now, so we don't have all the bills yet, but if we refresh our screen, we will see, and there they are. All 3 of those invoices that we processed were sent through our intake process and fully into the accounting system, QuickBooks Online, without all the manual labor of data entry. So we can take a look at these in QuickBooks Online. Just what I want to point out to you is we're able to determine the vendor, of course, the due dates, the bill dates, line item details, and what's very neat is we're able to look at the attachment, that actual bill within QuickBooks itself. So this is just a copy of that invoice that we received from the vendor. And let's go look at these other 2. Here we're able to determine the vendor that we received on the invoice. We're able to see that it came through ABBYY with the amounts and of course an attachment, and the last one is very similar as well. And of course we have our attachment here, and we're able to see that invoice on the bill. So the very neat part about this process is that I was able to have bills created in QuickBooks Online in a matter of a few minutes versus a long time with data entry, fixing errors because of that data entry, and now my intake process is fully automated. If you would like more information, please contact us.